All right, so let's talk making capes. This is a cape pattern that I have used before. Cough, it's available on my Ko-fi. It's the one that I used for all of my Keyleth cloaks, but I've decided to finally make an all new cape with it for my Arthur Pendragon cosplay. If you don't know, I'm a huge fan of Merlin BBC, so I really wanted to have a really nice cape to go along with Arthur. Originally, I was going to do a velvet with a red lining, and I realized that I hated all of the red that I found. The velvet itself that I was using was a really nice, deep, rich red, and I wanted a red on the inside that would complement that. But one of those weird little instances of fabric was just laying around, and I was throwing it around my craft room, and I found my really pretty satin gold fabric left over from when I did Fighter Jester. So that's the lining on the inside, because I just thought it looked really, really pretty. It gives that really regal, elegant look for the Camelot sigil as well, but also it looks like ketchup and mustard, so it was just kind of funny to me. But without further ado, here is how I made my Arthur Pendragon cloak. To start with, I had to slightly modify my original cape pattern in order to fit this specific fabric. I couldn't get it in the way I needed it cut for my normal patterns, so I had to make it wider in certain areas and shorter in order to compensate for the way that this specific fabric was cut. For all of my capes in the past, I've used sheets, which allows me these huge chunks of fabric at a time, whereas with this, I had to be more strategic about how I placed everything. Because there was such a lag between when I originally cut out my velvet and when I cut out the satin, I was too lazy to go and actually dig up wherever I had put my original patterns. So instead, I just pinned my fabric to each other and just cut it out. And you know what? It worked. I would never suggest doing this, but I am a chaos gremlin, so I have to do it. From there, I sewed the lining and the outside portion of the cape separately because I didn't want to have any internal seams. I really was trying really hard. I've never done it where I add the lining into something before, so this was kind of my first attempt at that. To attach everything together, I created rolled hems because I wanted a nice internal red edge that would really just incorporate that yellow really well. And I also really liked having the fuzzy texture on the inside a little bit. And then I patterned my hood. This was a fairly easy process. I took my Amazon cape that I have used to pattern my capes in the past, and I just traced out the hood design onto a piece of paper and traced that directly onto my fabric. I did the same thing as I did for the cape, which is I sewed my lining and my outer pieces completely separately and then put them together. And that was it! This was a really easy cape. I love the texture and the flow of it. It is such a smooth cape on the inside. I love how silky it is. It just sits on you really, really well, and then the outside's got this really nice, yummy texture. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, make sure to leave it down below in the comments. I will be including the hood pattern as soon as I can, but I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all next time.